Springtrap has officially been released into Dead by Daylight, and it's not only breaking records, but it's breaking the game itself. The creator program continues to create drama with Behavior's recent decision to make Twitch drops exclusive. Dead by Daylight officially has a stat page, and it might just be the best thing they've released in a long while. And let's settle the score. Does Darth Vader belong in Dead by Daylight? All that and more coming up because it's time to stay in the loop. Springtrap is officially in Dead by Daylight, and this honestly seems to be one of the most popular killer releases in some time. Overall, this DLC seems pretty well received. I would say both survivors and killers seem to be enjoying themselves so far. Think about killers like Kaneki and Chucky. When they were released, they were so powerful that survivors were dreading going up against them. But Springtrap seems pretty well balanced, so it seems like everyone's enjoying themselves. There is a little bit of pushback around the map. Now, I'm not the biggest fan of the map. The pizzeria part is cool. I like the animatronics inside, but it's just Greenville. And the decision to make two separate queues, one just to try out the map, was interesting. I think it was cool, but now it just kind of made queue times longer, and they just announced that they're going to extend it for a longer period of time. In my experience, a regular queue was taking 2 to 3 times longer than the FNaF map, so it kind of seems like they're forcing our hand by extending the FNaF map only queue. But my question to you guys is, what tier do you think Springtrap falls in? Depending on who you ask, you'll see A tier, you'll see B tier, you'll see C tier. I don't think a lot of people are saying S tier. For me, he's probably high C, low B. He does seem a little slow, and I don't really think he's a ranged killer. Some people are saying he's just Huntress with unlimited hatchets, but that really doesn't seem accurate. You really can't throw that axe too far because of how heavy it is. And his map control is good because you have that ability to grab a survivor if they're also going through the control room. So I think B- would be fair, but let me know in the comments what you guys think. And then what's your favorite skin? I personally got the Glitch Trap skin, and that seems to be probably the most popular so far. But I know the Matthew Lillard one has some cool voice lines, so I know a lot of people are buying that one as well. And you can tell the DLC is doing good because Dead by Daylight broke its concurrent record for players playing at one time. Previously held by the Resident Evil chapter, the FNaF chapter hit over 105,000 players. For a 9-year-old game to break the record for most players at the 9-year, basically right after the 9-year mark, it really says something about this DLC. And it was hyped up for over a year, which definitely helps. But I do think it was pretty well executed. Now, the FNaF purists might say, okay, it was more modeled around the movie than the video games. And like some people were a little underwhelmed with the Mori, but I think as a whole, the killer was very unique, and I like how they designed him. Behavior also announced they're going to have a free-to-play weekend coming up to draw in even more players, so I wouldn't be surprised if they even top that 105,000 player mark. But not only is the game breaking records, it's just breaking in general with all the bugs. With this new DLC, we've seen a lot of bugs, and this isn't necessarily uncommon, but with the FNaF chapter, they seem to be affecting the game a lot more, especially for survivors. There's a really nasty audio bug. I believe it's just when survivors interact with the camera, but you'll only be able to hear out of one ear. There's an audio bug where it sounds like generators are being worked on right next to you, even though you're not by them. Apparently, they're getting this fixed on Steam, and they've reported it's already fixed, but it's not yet fixed on console. That might change by the time this video comes out, but console players are still experiencing the audio bug. There's also a bug where Springtrap is invisible when he comes out of the door for a few seconds. I was able to experience this a few times in my matches. Very annoying, and makes him kind of maybe more powerful than he will be once they fix that. There's a bug that you mix with agitation that makes you walk around the map very fast, which I believe got Nemesis kill switched not too long ago for a similar bug, so hopefully they get that worked out soon. And there's been some major issues with people getting banned from the Go Next prevention. The Go Next prevention has been kill switched at this point because a few people have reported being banned for flagging under the Go Next prevention system. So a lot of issues right now. I feel like if you're a new player, this is probably a really weird time to play Dead by Daylight, but I imagine they're going to get a lot of these bugs worked out soon. But it's not all doom and gloom because Dead by Daylight did release their new stat page, and it's awesome. It will break down your most picked killers, your kill rates for each killer, specific stats for each killer, including pallets broken, generators kicked. For Survivor, you can see your escape rates, you can see your longest chases, and what perks you like to use the most. The page is really nice. Now, I do worry about how accurate it is because it said that Trapper is my most played killer. I hate Trapper, but maybe, I guess when I started the game, I played more Trapper than I thought. The survivor stats seem pretty accurate. It said my longest chase was only 1 minute and 10 seconds, which we might have to double check that. I don't feel like that's right. But yeah, it's just cool to see how many times I was hooked, the amount of times I usually get hooked in a game, all that stuff. They have a lot of cool stats there. So if you haven't yet checked it out, I definitely recommend doing so. Who's your most played character so far? I'm interested to see what your guys' stats look like. But one killer I'm hopefully not playing anytime in the near future is Darth Vader. This has been a little bit played out to this point, but there's this big conversation about Darth Vader coming to Dead by Daylight. Now, as an avid Star Wars fan, I think it's only fair that I throw my hat into the ring. Look, is Darth Vader feared? Yes. Now, I think it was Spookyloopz who said, how scary would it be if Darth Vader could force choke you and grab you off a generator and you hear his breathing in the background and that kind of function as a terror radius. And I think it's cool, and I think they could pull it off. I'm not saying that, but I just don't think Darth Vader in the Star Wars universe fits in Dead by Daylight. Like, Star Wars to me is more... Well, Star Wars is definitely sci-fi, but it's more about it's like its own world, I guess, separate to the real world. Like would Darth Vader's lightsaber one-shot survivors? Because I couldn't imagine. Or maybe like the first hit it takes off their arm, but then when they get hooked, do they get their arm back? Like, it wouldn't really make sense. And then what about the other Star Wars characters like Jar Jar Binks, R2-D2, Chewbacca? Do any of those fit in the Dead by Daylight realm? And you could say, well, Kaneki or Vecna. You could say Kaneki or Vecna don't fit, and to an extent they probably don't, but it definitely feels like they fit better than Star Wars would. And where does it stop? Is Minions going to be in the game next? But I'd like to hear your thoughts. Do you think Darth Vader fits into Dead by Daylight? I personally don't think so. And finally, there's more drama around the creator program. So I don't know if you guys remember, about 2 weeks ago, there was some drama because Dead by Daylight announced the creator program requirements, and they said you have to have 10,000 followers on a major platform to apply. Now, some people thought that wasn't fair, and I personally think 10,000 is fine, but a lot of people felt that wasn't attainable. Now, again, I would probably say that it maybe needs to be tiered because like 10,000 followers on Twitch is a lot different than 10,000 on TikTok. But when they first announced the creator program, there was this drama behind it of people arguing on whether it made sense or not, the current requirements that they laid out. Well, now there's even more drama. In a recent post, Dead by Daylight said this: with the announcement of our creator program, we'll be celebrating our creators with a Twitch drop campaign. Watch any of the creators in the creator program play Dead by Daylight to earn these drops. So essentially, Twitch drops, which were available for every Twitch streamer to this point, are now being limited to only people in the creator program. And mind you, they haven't even fully rolled this program out. I personally applied because I hit the 10K requirement, and I know other people have applied, and none of us have heard back yet. I haven't heard of anyone I know hearing back from Behavior. It seems like the only people that have gotten in so far are like former Fog Whisperers, these big content creators. Now, by limiting drops to those people, it's really hurting small content creators, and people are upset. One person says, wait, so Twitch drops are not even for everyone anymore? RIP to any non-partnered DBD creators. Yikes, this is a slap in the face to small creators. This isn't even related to the program. It's an anniversary event. It should be for everybody. So a lot of negative attention so far on the creator program. Now, Dead by Daylight backtracked and said they will open up drops to everyone eventually after they run this campaign, but it just seems weird to even do this. So let me know, do you think the FNaF DLC was a hit or a fail?